What is up, guys? Welcome back to another video. Today I have the honor to be with what I believe to be one of the most knowledgeable persons in the calisthenics community and in fitness industry in general, and that is Daniel from FitnessFAQ. It's an honor to have you in my channel.
Thank you. Awesome. What we're going to be doing today is fixing one of the most common problems in calisthenics, and that's the banana handstand. You know what? Before we start, cameraman, come over here. Show us your handstand.
Go, Fabian, let's go.
No
show all how it's done.
Thousands of people watching. Show us your handstand.
Not pressure.
Go up. Yep. Cool. And as you can see here in this position, very common in calisthenics, the banana back. We're going to solve this by using a joint by joint approach, looking at the wrist, shoulder, thoracic, core control, and a little bit of hip and leg strength. Let's get to it.
All right, guys, so let's begin. So Daniel, what is the first limitation that we have and how can we correct it?
So starting from the bottom with the wrist, I'd say it's very comparable to the squat. So when you're in a squat, if you lack the ankle range of motion, it's going to affect your squat in a various ways. So butt wink as the example. In a handstand, it's going to show itself in the banana handstand. So if you don't have enough wrist extension range of motion, as well as strength, then when you go into your handstand position, you're not going to be able to get as vertical. So what happens if you can't do that? If your wrist stops you, you need to compensate at another joint or another part of your body. Especially with calisthenics, a lot of people rush, they don't do the mobility and the strengthening work. So
a lot of people do a lot of passive, and that's very common. So what would be an active thing that we can use?
Keeping it really simple, we need to do wrist extension strength.
Okay.
So there's a few ways that we can do this. I'll show you first to start with just using a dumbbell, because everyone's got access to a dumbbell hopefully, or some small weight, anything they can find. Really. Supporting on the knee, we're going to go through full flexion to extension. So here, all the way up, all the way down. Very simple. A
specific tempo or something? Or?
Yeah, I like to keep it smooth going down and up, and just a pause.
Any contraction at the top?
Pause at the top. What a lot of people make the mistake of doing is, oh yeah, wrist, let's get strong wrists. They just rush through, and then they wonder why they've got pain. Well, because you're not taking the time to fully go through a full range of motion. So let's see you trying that one. And I'll teach you through it. So support this all the way, so only your wrist is off the edge. It's about there, enough range of motion, let it drop down. Now go just from here. Good, yes. And you notice with this one that Gabbo's using a full range. He's going as far as he can. A good sign with your wrist strengthening work is there's going to be some shaking. So if you're shaking a little bit, it's good. It means you're controlling the tempo.
Exactly. You're building strength for sure.
So with this one, you'd be doing it in the moderate to higher rep range, just because smaller muscle groups tend to benefit more from moderate to higher reps.
So you would say 10 to 15 reps?
Perfect.
If they don't have access to a dumbbell, they can use a band, I guess, right?
Yeah, exactly. So here with this one.
How would you wrap it?
Wrap it around your hand. Yeah, through the middle part of your hand. It's probably a bit too much. Now step on the edge.
Nice.
And you could play around with that here. So
yeah, like the resistance there.
I think you need to wrap it around again.
Yeah, or we just do that there. Or wrap it too much.
So this is the common problem people are gonna have.
Yeah, you just find your right spot. Gotcha.
Same deal.
Can I actually put my hand and do that?
If you don't have any equipment, you can do that, but the only thing is it's hard to know how much
you're putting. Yeah, it's hard to measure that. Nice. All right, so what will be the next limitation that we have after the wrist?
Done wrist first, now we're looking at shoulder.
The most common one.
With calisthenics, the pro and con of what we do, we get super strong, we do a lot of pulling, so we get tight in our lats as well as our triceps. from the pushing stuff that we do. So we need to focus on this area because
Flexion, right?
yes, being very tight there restricts you from going overhead.
All right.
What would you recommend for the calisthenics person?
Right, so first of all, I would assess the person, ideally against the wall, but since Daniel is pretty aware of his body, he can tuck your pelvis, posteriorly till your pelvis. Now, slowly raise your arms overhead without arching. We're not getting into thoracic just yet, so it's only shoulder flexion. So he got a pretty good range, almost 180 degrees, so he would need to work a little bit more to get to ideally 180 and a little bit past that, so he can get when you're upside down, it's different. Like you can be standing and you can get to here, but when you're upside down, it's different. It also it's a lack of awareness. You could have the 180 degree shoulder flexion, but we also need to work on the awareness while you're upside down. So you can do it freestanding, but we're gonna show a variation against the wall. So let me demonstrate the exercise first. You're gonna walk chest to wall handstand, but you're gonna be at about an arm distance apart from the wall.
Okay.
And you're gonna find that supposedly perfect line handstand with posterior tail your pelvis and open shoulders and chest in. And from here, I want you to go into a mini planche, keeping the rest of the body straight. Like don't break from your hips, don't break from anything but your shoulders, and then use your arms to push and get into that full 180 degree shoulder flexion.
Okay.
So basically we're working on active shoulder mobility and you're being upside down, so you are increasing your awareness as well.
What I like about this is you're showing me what position not to be in, and then I'm teaching my body what position to be in.
Exactly.
So all under load, yeah?
Yes, like knowing the edges, that is a handstand. When you're in a handstand, it is good to fall this way and fall that way.
Yeah.
That way you can find the middle line. If you're always trying to just be in the middle line, when you get to here, you don't know what to do. So you don't know how to correct it, but that's for another video.
And what I like about this one is you're keeping it strict to the shoulder. So with me, I don't have perfect range of motion. I don't have that full 180.
Okay.
So how do I compensate? At the back.
At the back, yeah, that's
banana backs.
That is something like if you raise your arms, this is the camera, and if I don't have the full shoulder flexion, imagine this is the floor. My body's obviously going to do that.
So with this one, I'm locked in at the pelvis, and I'm just focusing my shoulder.
Just focusing on that.
Perfect.
So it's a good one to show it. It's a good one to record yourself, because it is so easy to break from other parts of your body that is not your shoulders. You can break at your elbows, you can break at your knees.
Yeah.
So keep your toes pointed, Just a good one too. Now push your hips a little forward. Good, that's perfect. Now go more into a mini planche. Break it more. Lean more forward. More. You got the planche. There you go. Now push it only using the strength of your serratus. Good. Nice. But you see now you broke all your hips. So you want to keep that. Slide your feet up. Good.
Is that right?
Okay. Come down. You're getting this angle. Good. Okay, so the only thing that you did here, which is actually not wrong, is, let me demonstrate that. It can actually be a regression. So you were here, and when you went to the mini planche, good, but when you came back, you left your feet where they were, and you went to a planche, which is not bad. You're still working on strength, but if you slide your feet, then exactly, and you have more load on your shoulders, which is going to give you more strength in that range of motion.
Okay, so one is keeping the feet in the same spot, just doing the shoulder.
Exactly.
And then the one that you recommend is harder.
It's just breaking from the shoulders.
Sliding up.
Exactly, which is going to teach you only that, like this motion, but keeping your body completely straight.
Perfect.
But if you're a beginner, you can hinge from your hips.
Cool.
A little bit.
So
next one, what
wrist, shoulder, we need to work on thoracic spine.
Okay.
So from here, we need to get this spot going. Let's get you lying on the floor.
All right.
Sideways, yep. So this one, hands behind your head. You're going to create a gap between the floor and your stomach. Completely interlace your fingers behind your head. Now from here, you're going to pull the elbows apart, lift just from here. Breathe out and down. Go again. 2. This is really hard to do. When you try this, guys at home, guys and girls, it's a lot harder than he's making it look.
No, it is hard. It is hard.
We're just strengthening through this.
I don't know
part.
if it's looking easy, but it's not easy at all.
So that one, as you can see, we're trying to work on just that thoracic strength.
All right.
For the handstand. So it's just that upper part of your back.
Okay, so you strengthen basically your mid traps, your low traps, like all the posterior chain. Okay.
Yes. Whilst you're keeping this locked in.
Exactly, because what people say is like if you do thoracic extension, basically you're relaxing your abs, right?
Exactly. Yes.
You want to keep that activation while working on the. Okay, gotcha. But we also have another parts in our posterior chain. You as a physiotherapist, so what would you say are the parts that we need to strengthen for a handstand to get that straight line handstand?
We'd be looking at just the pelvis component, so the glute and hamstrings to keep us into hip extension.
Yes.
And avoiding just that arch at the back as well.
Which is really hard to a lot of people arch a lot and they don't do the. So I got one exercise for that one.
Okay.
We're gonna need something to elevate ourselves and a band. So if you can wrap this band over here, well, I can wrap it. First, you need to learn how to wrap a band. Okay, so what I want you to do is you're gonna step into books, plates, whatever you have. That should be, ideally stable so you can lay down. Ideally, you should do it on a bar or something. And you're gonna be pointing your toes. You're gonna hollow your body up, and the only thing that you're gonna be working is on hip extension, which, as he said, you're working glutes, hamstrings, anything else?
That's the main ones that we're focused on,
right?
Yeah.
And you are basically stretching your hip.
And you'll notice that you're doing it just to the neutral point that you're trying to in the handstand.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I mean, if you have, ideally, if you really want to practice, you support yourself and you imagine you're in a handstand, and you can do little pulses, and you can also hold it there for increasing awareness and proprioception.
That's it. It's mainly about the body mechanics and understanding what your different joints are doing.
Exactly.
So when you go to the handstand, you'll know when you're in the banana and how to fix it.
That is true, because we have the banana handstand, but we also have the, I don't know how to call that one, but it's, people say that you need to hold up your body.
Yeah.
But if you hold up your body way too much, your hip flexors get tight, and then you end up in a extra hollow, which doesn't look straight.
Yes.
But if you say people go straight, where they go is arching the lumbar spine.
Yes.
Because they don't have that hip extension.
Yeah. So working on that is more about,
Yeah, and it's an area that people myself actually is the area that I like the most. When I go into a press to handstand and I get to here, when I go here, it's I fall because I don't have that control and that hip extension.
Yeah.
That's why I'm really working on this exercise and a lot of, my glutes and my hamstrings are really weak. Okay?
So in terms of bringing it all together and finishing it up, we need to balance out the opposing force of that. So if you just practice doing hip extension, then you might be so aware of doing that you forget to do this.
Exactly.
So tying in the hollow body hold, it's the universal exercise for handstand. You're going to be doing this all the time just to develop that awareness. What would you recommend in terms of...
Can you show me your hollow body hold? How would you do it?
My one, sure.
Yeah, exactly. And then I got some modifications for actually the hollow body hold.
Okay, so in terms of my teaching cues for this, the most important thing I go for is this being flat against the ground.
It has to be, yes.
Having the shoulder blades off the ground. That's basically it, as well as...
Okay, so show me the best hollow body hold that you can possibly do. All right, so that is perfect. Now, imagine you're in a handstand, basically turn your palms around. We're gonna make it real. Even just stick that way, you are not cheating by going wider, because if you go wider, you can actually go more shoulder flexion. Now, exactly, lower, open through the shoulders, at the same time you keep pushing, and at the same time you're going to lower the legs.
Yep.
There you go. And you just hold it there.
Cool, that feels actually a lot different to how I usually do it.
Really?
The cue of bringing the hands actively down is a big one for handstand.
Yes,
like
and if you add dumbbells to that, if you're more advanced and you want to really increase that, because people, work on shoulder flexion, but don't do passive stuff. it should be part of it, but you need to be strong in that range of motion. That's the difference between basically mobility and flexibility. Sure. And the difference on that one about the feet, so yeah, you have this one, but the good thing also is like lower your legs down. So because this is not a handstand, even this is gonna strengthen your core, but this is actually like the ideal position. And if you wanna close your eyes for proprioception, that's good. And even just if putting your feet down and working on pulses,
just that lumbar pelvic motor control.
Yeah, like working just some pulses like that, then that works as well. Yeah,
so all that stuff is going to tie in together nicely to reduce the limitations that are happening, both from mobility, strength, awareness, to fix that banana handstand.
A bunch of components that make up a straight line handstand, which is an endless journey.
So that's a wrap for the fix of the banana handstand. We took a joint by joint approach, and the beauty of this video is each person watching is going to have different pros and cons, strengths and weaknesses for their body. So for you should really focus on what your major limitation is. And with the handstand, it's a long journey. You're going to be doing it for a long time.
Exactly.
So many exercises.
We just scratched the surface, right?
There's thousands of drills you can be doing, but you need to pick the ones that are right for you.
Exactly, perfect. And yeah, I think handstand is like an endless journey, and it's so unique, and you need to really like I said, pick the right exercises, the drills for you, find your own limitations. If you are lacking balance instead of strength, work on balance. Don't work too much against the wall. But there are some people that they are super strong, but they don't have the mobility, and they're working on handstand push-ups while they should be working on active mobility for their shoulder flexion.
And it's the hardest thing too, because we like training what we enjoy to do and what we're good at, but
I'm guilty of that.
When you get to a certain point, that's what holds you back.
Yes. You know how many hollow body holds I do during the day? And I'm already strong. I do ankle weights, I do weights, and then it was a month ago that I realized I actually need to strengthen my posterior chain. I need to do the hip extension thing, I need to do the thoracic extension thing, because I'm weak on my back. So yeah, we tend to gravitate towards what we enjoy.
Exactly. In my case, doing more endurance and strength probably is not going to help. I really need to focus on my shoulder mobility.
Just a little bit, bro. You're gonna good place. So let's stand up to say goodbye to the camera. So it was an honor, brother, to have you here. Guys, if you enjoyed this video, just give it a big thumbs up to support the channel. Also, subscribe if you haven't already. I'm pretty sure you're already subscribed to his channel. An amazing dude, humble dude, amazing knowledge and incredible wisdom from I can see. I follow this guy from 5 years ago, so for me it's an honor to have him here. And that's it. If you haven't subscribed to the channel, subscribe, and I will see you guys next time. Peace out.